Hello and welcome. I'm Catherine Mather, and in this video I'll be helping you put together Swing Your Cares Away workshop. To get started, we'll need to centre and glue our two cardboard bases together. The small one sits on the top. I've used white tacky glue to hold this in place. To help with the rock placement, you'll see a paper template. I've traced around the rock shapes with a lead pencil on the wrong side and then placed it on top of my cardboard and traced on the top side, pushing down to leave it an indent and line of carbon. Using the outline of the grass on the paper template as a guide, lightly sponge the base with a watery mix of mid-green paint. I've used Jo Sonja's Sap Green and leave to dry. To complete the base, paint with a line of silver paint around the top layered edge and a rich gold around the lower edge. I'll be using Jo Sonja's paint throughout this workshop. Each rock is hand moulded using the template as a guide for shaping and positioning. Position the paper template on your workboard and cover with a sheet of oven bake and secure down with some pins or tape. Then lightly dust your fingertips with baby powder or corn flour. This will stop the epoxy putty from sticking to your fingers as you shape it. Epoxy putty in your kit is needed. It's a little different to what I'm using here. It has an outer lighter ring and a darker central circle in the middle. Slice the putty into 3mm bands and work on one piece at a time, blending the two colours, the grey and the white, together until you get an even consistency. Remember, this putty will set up very quickly, so work quickly shaping your rocks. Remembering to dust your fingertips with the baby powder or corn flour. After 10 to 15 minutes, your rocks will be hard and ready to place onto your mat. Lightly brush the mat over where the rocks are going with some white PVA glue. And using the template lines on your mat as a guide, place the rocks into position and leave to dry. To give some natural dimension to the rock, I'm using some powdered chalks, a black and a grey, to just over the rocks. You could also use a light wash of black or grey paint rubbed over the rock with your fingertip to give the same effect. If you use chalk or an eyeshadow powder, you'll need to seal this before you move on. With a clear non-yellowing spray, or you could also use hairspray. Once that's dry, we can move on to adding the gravel. Coat between the rocks and around the rocks with some white PVA glue, and make sure you remove any glue that's touched onto the rocks. Lightly sprinkle the tan gravel over the rock surface and into the crevices. When that's dry, I'm going to add another sponge layer of the sap green paint around the outer edge of those rocks and blending it into the paler edge of the green that we already have on the board, just to give it a little bit more dimension when we add the green flocking. To add the green flocking, I'll be using Arlene's Designer Tacky Glue. It's a thicker PVA glue and holds the flocking much better than the white PVA glue. Sprinkle this into place and gently tap it down into the glue and work your way around the board.